Good evening. I am Detective Black, and I've been looking into the murder of my twin brother, Dr. Black. And I've invited these people here to reveal which of them did the dastardly deed. This has been a tricky case. We got a lucky break early. Somebody saw the culprit dragging Dr. Black's body away from Appledore, but alas, they were not close enough to see who the person doing the dragging away was. For that, we had to consider weapons. We had 6 weapons available. The spanner, a hefty piece of metal that could be used to bash a man's brains in, were it not for the fact that the tower keeper had taken it away to do some maintenance at home that day. The rope. Rings are fond of ropes. Rings know how to use ropes. But if a rope had been used to kill Dr. Black, there would have been rope burns on his neck. None were found. The clapper. All but a club. Could it be used to strike Dr. Black down? Well, it could have been used to strike Dr. Black down. But the clapper, that day, was taken away and used as a ringing exhibition. The marling spike. An ideal weapon for a murder, if maybe you were hunting a vampire. But, as one may note, the marling spike is a decidedly pointy implement. Had it been used for the murder, stab wounds would have been evident in the body. In fact, I'm shocked it took the coroner so long to notice there weren't any. Bit of retraining needed there, I feel. The muffle, a solid mass of leather, could have been used to suffocate Dr. Black. But had it been so used, DNA would have been visible. With inside, no such traces were found. Brings us to the final weapon, the stave. And yes, I think, if we examine closely here on the side, yes, indeed, telltale bloodstains. The stay was the murder weapon. Which brings us to the 6 miscreants who are in the frame for
I object to the
this
description as miscreants.
Villains?
That's better.
Ne'er-do-well? Shall we start with the colonel, a military man? Well, a military lady, obviously, in this case. Who would be better placed to kill someone than someone in the military? Oh, they know how to do it.
How dare you, sir?
Colonel Mustard, I understand that you applied for the presidency of the Army Guild of Bell Ringers.
It's a rumour.
Now, my understanding is that that role requires you to have a
rumour.
rank of colonel. Oh, that's lucky. You do have the rank of colonel, isn't it? What is your actual rank, Colonel Mustard? It's Lieutenant Colonel, isn't it, Colonel Mustard? Yeah. Dr. Black knew this. Dr. Black told the Army Guild of Bell Ringers. And as a result, Colonel Mustard lost out on the presidency. A motive murder. But, as we've discovered, Colonel Mustard, an upstanding pillar of the community,
Yes.
was helping out with a charity
Of
event
course.
organised by a former unit for strike back against blood cancer that day. The commanding officer of the unit has verified, so
I should think so as well.
eliminate Colonel Mustard from the worries. Which brings us to Miss Scarlett. Miss Scarlett, how are you doing as lead quarter-bill ringer this year? Doing a good number? Don't feel that maybe a rival is getting close? No. Yes. Yes, Dr. Black was a bit of a betting man. Well, Dr. Black didn't bet on Miss Scarlett. Dr. Black bet on her closest rival. And fearing he was going to lose the bet, shall we say, assisted Miss Scarlett in losing the odd quarter or two here and there.
Oh.
definitely something that would make us kill the individual involved. But her obsession with ringing is her salvation in this case. For we know on the day of the murder, she had been offered the chance to ring at Westminster Abbey. And what ardent ringer could turn down such an opportunity? Certainly not an Scarlet here. No, it has been verified. She took up this invite and was not in the area on the day of the murder. Brings us to Reverend Green.
So,
Well, person of the cloth, you wouldn't expect them murdered, but then it is always the last one you suspect that does it, isn't it? Yes, Reverend Green, Ninfield, any particular views on Ninfield?
lovely place.
Lovely place.
Loved by everybody.
Loved by everybody. I think that is not entirely accurate, is it? It's not loved by everybody. Yes, well, how was it Dr. Black putting it? The most boring hellhole on earth, I believe, was the way he phrased it, yes?
That's his problem.
Yeah,
Not mine.
no, he wouldn't drive you to murder something like that, would you?
Of course
Which, of
not.
course, we know it didn't, because as a man of the cloth, you were actually officiating a number of weddings this day. We have had to wait for the honeymooning couples to return from their honeymoons in order to verify this, but they all have. Reverend Green was occupied all day. Which brings us to our final three suspects. Mrs. White, Mrs. Peacock, and Professor Plum. Mrs. White,
Yes.
No, talk to me next.
the ropes at St Mary's Eastbourne,
What about them? They're brand new.
the splicing on them, it's lovely and delightful. And,
No, it was absolutely appalling. I couldn't bear it. Every time I rang appeal, it hurt my hands. So I demanded that they change them.
So you wouldn't say it was, let's see, how did Dr. Black put it? The finest example of the splicing art
It
he
most
has ever seen.
certainly is not. I've been on about it for about 20 years to get them to change the ropes, and they would not listen to me. But finally, I got my way.
You got your way, but did you get your way another way? I mean, you claim to have spent all day at the opticians waiting for Dr. Black to turn up for an appointment. I mean, who'd spend all day at the opticians waiting for their appointments? And as for you, Professor Plum, you're fond of the odd pint or two, aren't you?
Occasionally.
Not just any old drink, is it? It's Harvey's is your preference, isn't it?
I occasionally drink a pint of Harvey's.
Occasionally, yes. So, hypothetically, say, were a man to, say, drink the last pint of Harvey's, and then having done that, to suggest that you were to try lager, would that upset you at all?
No, it wouldn't upset me at all.
It wouldn't upset you in this life. Not enough to murder, definitely. It's not that there's no motive for murder. Being suggested you try lager, thinking that Foster's is the thing to drink. But no, of course, you, the big ringer that you are, you double book yourself today. You are off ringing somewhere else. Or were you? So that's for you, Mrs. Peacock.
Yes.
Well, you're tower captain over at Alfriston, aren't you?
I am.
Are you sure about that?
Oh, definitely. Following a long line of ladies tower captains at Alfriston.
See, Dr. Black seemed very uncertain about that. In fact, should we say certain in a different direction? Certain in the no woman could ever be tower captain direction, I understand.
We always had a lady tower captain at Alfriston, always.
But
right
you're-
back to when Florence Tagden wrote about the one in 1833.
33. Oh, well. And what, you're assuming Dr. Black is a man of tradition? Yeah, not, shall we say, the sexist kind. And let's see, you're it's odd, it almost matches Reverend Green's. You're saying that as tower captain you had to ring for a load of weddings that day?
I did.
Wow, what a coincidence, the two of you having such similar alibis. I mean, it couldn't be easy, you just copied Reverend Green's alibis.
It's true.
It's a tricky one.
Lots of weddings.
We have a large number of weddings at
Large
Alfriston
number of
every
weddings.
year.
Yes, it was a tricky one. We had trouble pinning down your three alibis. Plum claiming he was out ringing, White claiming she was at the opticians all day, Peacock claiming she was ringing for weddings. Well, to be fair, Peacock's was the easiest to pin down, yes. There were a load of weddings that day, and yes, indeed, as tower captain, she did end up organising the ringing for them. So, we must eliminate Peacock from our inquiry. But what about this ridiculous story of Mrs. White being at the opticians all day? And this plausible but vague sentence that Miss Professor Plum was ringing all day. Well,
I was ringing all day.
we did manage to pin down details on both of those. And you know what? Mrs. White, it turns out, is a really loyal servant that did actually spend all day
Absolutely.
waiting at the opticians for her employer. Can you believe it? Where's Professor Plum? Yes, you were out ringing with another bunch of people that day. We've spoken to those people, and you know it's the oddest thing. They all said you phoned them up saying you just needed one more person to ring. And then, it's no good running, Professor Plum. We had the building surrounded, I'm afraid. Yes, you told all of them that you just needed one more person for the ringing. And then you didn't turn up. You were at Appledore. You had to stay. Yes, the murder of Dr. Black. The solution is as follows. It was Professor Plum with the stay at Appledore.